Soda River. To my left, we got Hit 'em and Pick 'em Hines. Running the switchboard in the back, we got the Radar Trent. We got Sugar Daddy J.C. Evans. And we got Great Hair Gavin sitting over here with us today as well. So that is our panel. So for today's show, we've got a rundown, talk about the SOC softball, SOC baseball. We're going to talk about some of the kids' performance. Hines is going to have his opportunity today to give us our Hit 'em and Pick 'em Hines for the Kentucky Derby. We're going to talk about the Buckeye Storm tournament that's coming to Portsmouth, starts this evening, and what that does for the city of Portsmouth. We're going over Gavin's greats today as well, since Gavin made it in with us this week. Then we'll go over sponsors and plug those sponsors throughout the show. And then we will wrap the show up with head coach Adam Cox talking about his team in the Buckeye Storm.
Yep.
Did I miss anything?
Good.
Good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right,
yeah.
JC, you want to start us off?
Yeah, with the Notre Dame girls clinched this week. I mean, how many in a row is that for them?
That's their sixth.
Is that 6 in a row? I
That's
think
their
you said.
sixth SOC championship that they won.
And Hines, how many games have they won in a row in SOC play?
50 plus.
50. It's like 50 plus. That's wild.
50 plus games.
I don't foresee them losing in the future in SOC play as well. At what point does it turn into competitive balance and you move them up?
It really doesn't. I mean, it doesn't for them. And as we talked last week, kudos to Shad Ford and his coaching staff last weekend, going to Dayton, playing a top-tier Division I team, playing a top-tier Division IV team. Both teams ranked in the state. They split, went 1-1 for the weekend. And as Hines was with that, Hines and I was up there covering the Notre Dame Green game the other night, softball game, talking to Coach Ford. You know, they're not steering away from any competition.
No.
Their whole presence is getting ready for the tournament. That's why.
So could we see a world where, like for competitive balance, they move up to the big SOC or even the middle SOC? Because like we've seen with, I know it's different, but like not Grandview Heights. Coach Cox, what team was that moved up from D4? They would have been D7 this year. Richmond Heights, yeah. So Richmond Heights, they moved up for competitive balance to D5.
Yes.
Could we see a world where Notre Dame moves up just to get tested in conference play?
I don't know. You got to kind of look at what your well has down the road, right? What talent you got coming up. You don't want to make that jump and then not be able to be competitive. Yeah, so that's a big part, right? So you always want to be competitive and never put yourself in that opportunity where you're not competitive and beat your kids down.
Yeah.
And you're losing week after week or game after game, and your program ends up falling apart. You know,
so
it takes a reverse role.
So what happens? We're not going to leave out there. I was going to say, what happens if Coach Pendleton decides to leave Ironton? Do they go back to the OVC? Like that's, hey, I'll say it. It is what it is. Like he decides to take a college job, something like that. Like,
I mean,
I don't think the OVC would welcome him back.
I doubt the OVC would welcome him back. You never know.
Yeah.
And again, that's whoever would take over the helm at that coach and AD.
Yeah.
That would be a decision they would sit down and make. But I would say after some of the bridges have been burnt, they probably wouldn't be welcome back. You know,
probably
about
true.
along the same lines as Portsmouth was offered to come to the SOC many times and turned it down.
Yeah, now
and then they cried and whined and wanted in. The SOC told
we're
them.
good. Yeah.
So we're good. So Hines, you want to talk a little bit about the Notre Dame and Green softball game?
We watched the baseball game for we were there 3 or 4 innings. Then went over and interviewed Shad and Brandon. Aaliyah scored 2 home runs. Very impressive.
For Notre Dame, yes.
Yeah. Isabella Rush hit for the cycle.
Yes, kid went for the cycle. She's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Went for the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just, I don't know, just the energy with Shad that they have as a team. The girls seemed excited. It just seemed like parents around taking pictures. It just seemed like like a family feel.
Yeah.
They have it going on at Notre Dame softball.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think the biggest thing that they got at Notre Dame right now is, with Coach Ford and Coach Entler being there, is those girls are buying into everything that he says, right?
Yeah.
If regardless of what it is, if you need 400 swings a week, they're taking 550, right? Because they want to be better, they want to perform, and ultimately they are shooting for that same goal as some other teams in this area. When it comes down to it, is they want to win a state title. That's what they're shooting for ultimately, right? It's not. Is it nice to win the SOC? Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Is that your main goal? Absolutely not. It's to win that state title. So
they run into Strasburg again this year. Are they in the same? Is that the same road that they've had the last few years?
I'm not sure.
I would
know
say
they always run into that team, and it's just.
I would say they'll run into Sims Valley before them. That'll
they'll
be
definitely run into Sims
they'll
Valley.
run that. That's their head-on collision with Sims Valley.
Valley's still ranked number 1 in the state.
Sport would welcome that.
Yeah.
He would look forward to that. I know.
They want to play Sims Valley.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be a big game.
Shad would love that.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
opportunity.
You got 2 good pitching duels that could go on right there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That game as well.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch.
Both teams, as we talked last week, being at Thunder in the Valley and watching some of the Sims Valley, they hit the ball well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're solid in their lineup down through there, and Notre Dame's solid in their lineup. So I think that'd be a really good matchup
Yeah.
to see. That might be something that if that plays out in the tournament, that's something we should look at covering the live streaming. for that game,
Absolutely,
for sure.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
So yeah, good performance by the Notre Dame girls. We watched the Green had clinched their SOC in baseball. They played Notre Dame the same night, so was able to catch the baseball game as well. The Green Bobcat boys didn't quite fare as well. Notre Dame in the 5th inning, man, the wheels fell off the bus. Can of worms was open, and they batted through their line. Notre Dame batted through the lineup 2.5 times.
Yeah, it's 3-3. We go over to, or 4-3. We go interview Shad, and when we come back, what is it? 10 to
It was 16.
Yeah, it was
16
crazy.
to 2, 16
Yeah.
to 3.
Yeah, that's-
when we walked back
to
over.
run.
yeah, that's
They
tough.
lost a run in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's tough.
I think Green was throwing a freshman though, and again,
Yeah.
they had just clinched, so it kind of give another kid an opportunity.
Yeah.
Did okay, just
Yeah,
gets
they-
a little bit tired and.
Yeah.
Green was happy somewhat. They won the SOC. They threw off. They didn't throw either ace. They threw both of their number 1, number 2s against Sims Valley, to clinch. So it was kind of like we're happy.
Yeah.
But again, you still got to look at though. You are playing for your seed in the tournament,
Yeah.
which is based off your wins and losses. Nobody cares that
That's-
you won the SOC.
That's what I just said. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said something about does that win really matter for Notre Dame? I said, yeah. I said for tournament seeding, you beat a 10-3 team, and they don't show that hey they pitched a freshman.
No.
It just shows that you beat one of the
Coach
top
Coleman was
teams.
happy. I mean,
Yeah.
he was pumped after the
Yeah.
game. He
Oh,
was,
yeah.
That-
I
Coach
think it's a
Coleman
thing
was
of
happy.
you see that more last week of the season because tournament draws are decided by then. You're trying to keep your 1-2 arms fresh for the tournament. But this point in the year, you can't really be giving like a team like Notre Dame. They could take that win as a momentum thing because
Yeah.
you let those guys see the ball a little bit more. Like you said, that's 3 at-bats more than they
Yeah.
would see this week normally.
Yep.
The bats can get hot. If the bats get hot at this time, there's a team that you really don't want to see in the tournament because yes, you're gonna. If Green were to see them in the tournament, they're gonna see a better arm. But if they have the confidence that they can put up that many runs on that team, no matter who's on the hill, then they're gonna come in with better confidence to
No,
play.
Better confidence infectious, right?
Yeah.
But and other side of the coin, I do think that Green baseball team is a pretty good team.
They
are.
When you got Knapp on the mound and Kembler, I mean they can definitely make a run as well.
The Green baseball team is a very solid baseball team, fundamentally sound.
I
Good
agree.
performance this year. They've done very well.
Yeah.
Their third, Blevins kid, pitched a no-hitter against Eastern earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And he's a sophomore. So, that's your third guy pitching a no-hitter. That's pretty impressive. I don't care who you're playing.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so we've got, Notre Dame is clinched, girls softball. The other SOC right now is pretty much
Wide. It's wide open. It's like
well,
a
for
three.
softball, it's kind of it's a
Yeah,
closed deal. It's
it's-
going to be Willisburg,
Yeah.
and the other SOC. I mean, it is what that is.
It is
I mean,
what it is, yep.
So that's why we're looking. Hopefully, sources say that there is going to be the 2 machines
Yeah.
in the county.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame and Willisburg game will happen this season. At least that's what we're being told.
Sources say.
Sources say. So we're working out. The details are being worked out. So that is definitely a game. River City Sports Media
Yeah,
is going to
absolutely.
live stream and
Yes.
cover for the ones that can't be there to see that game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, kudos to the girls Notre Dame softball, Green, boys baseball for clinching, and then the other SOC in baseball, as you talked about,
Wide
JC, wide open.
Yeah, I think you have Valley with 3 losses. South Webster, I'm pretty sure, has 3 losses. Berg's sitting there at 2 losses.
Correct.
Waverly was in the race, but they lost. They dropped one to West. That's one that you can't drop. Minford, it's 4 losses, but I mean, at this point, it's wide open for anybody. It's
And it really is. And at one of the games that we were at, one of the coaches said it's not about how many runs we're going to be able to score this year. It's what team's gonna make the least amount of mistakes.
Yeah.
Is how the SOC is going to be determined.
Yeah.
What team's gonna make the least amount of mistakes to give themselves the opportunity to win a game? They said that's all it's going to boil down to.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
I think in high school baseball, it's really important that a lot of the times when the team has their best pitcher on the mound, like say Valley and Berg going against each other, and it's Heimbach versus Powell, that game's not going to come down to, who can get to 5 runs first. It's going to come down to who scores first.
Yeah.
Because odds are, when the other pitcher's protecting a 1-0 lead, he's not going to give it up.
Yeah.
And sometimes we saw it earlier in the year, I think. Both pitchers threw a complete game shutout, but one let in an unearned run off of like an error or two.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the difference. So it doesn't just fall on the pitcher on the mound throwing a perfect game.
Yeah.
The defense behind him has to be ready to field.
And you're right, Gavin. And you look at the Willersburg and South Webster game. It was 0-0 in the 6th inning. Runner on second, third, 2 outs, and Heimbach balks and gives Webster a 1-0 lead, and that's what it ends up.
When I was covering the Minford and Willersburg game, Willersburg and Minford game earlier in the year, Mason Bradley only gave up 3 hits, but I'm pretty sure that Minford had 7 errors in the field to where it would be a routine ball and it just bobbled it or something, and he ended up giving up, I think it was 2 runs, and it was down 2-0, but he'd only given up 3 hits.
Yeah.
So like, at what point? At some point, your defense has to help you out a little bit.
And it was the same way when we covered the Minford and Willersburg game at Minford, right?
Yeah.
Close game. Willersburg gets up a couple runs. Minford battles back, and all of a sudden, man, the wheels just fall off for Minford baseball. It's like Willersburg found the gap with some balls, and then some errors after errors,
Yeah.
and then. I mean, you guys know, watching, especially high school baseball, errors are contagious.
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Errors are contagious. At some point, you got to stop the bleeding.
That's
How do
that's
you-
high school sports in general.
Well,
It's
yeah.
not just it's
Yeah.
But hey, we talked about Notre Dame's girls clinching and Green's boys. Sims Valley's girls also clinched the middle SOC as well. I want to go ahead and give them a shout out as well. They clinched last week, so we have
The SOCs are locked up.
the SOCs essentially are locked up. Only one that's open is the boys' big SOC. That's
Yes.
it. Everything else is locked up. So it's gonna be a battle. 'Cause I think Willersburg plays. They play somebody 2 times in it. They play South Webster twice
Yep.
in the next week and a half.
Yep.
So that could, if Webster can sneak one in, then you got a 3-way tie. And then I don't know how all that works because Webster's beat Valley. And
I think it's to the point where there's so many games going every which
Yeah,
way. Like
yeah.
it may, I don't know if they even have tiebreakers, but it may actually just come down to
I'm not sure how that
someone.
works.
that's what I'm
beat-
saying.
Usually there's co.
It-
You have co. SOC
I
champions.
people don't like it. I like the co-SOCs because at the end of the day,
I don't.
if
It's
you
a
have
participation trophy.
but if you have the same record,
Bingo.
go decide it in the
Bingo.
tournament.
Yeah.
If you have the same record, go decide it in the tournament.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like-
I mean, I think you should do. I mean, if there's the same record in there, you
Sudden
know,
death.
Now I'm not
Play,
saying
play a game.
play a game for the win.
Now I'm not saying you should be going around parading like, oh, we're co-SOC champion. Don't be doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But-
that's always kind of been a
Like
peeve
I
of
always,
mine.
I
Don't
love
hang
it.
that banner if you didn't win it outright.
Yeah, that this
I swear to
here's
somebody.
here's my
Exactly.
here's my thing. Like I agree with you. If you have, and this might just be the coach in a lot of us, if you have a co-SOC, you should have to play a final game, and that should be the championship.
Kinda like a game 163.
conference championship game.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. That's just my opinion. But
I mean, we've seen
well-
it happen in other sports in college right now,
Yeah.
right?
So
Going to a conference
Conference
championship to have a
championship,
winner.
yeah. Absolutely.
And then we've also seen that opportunity with some of those conference winners not make
So-
certain tournaments or playoffs
so-
as well.
the junior high does it.
Yeah.
Has a conference tournament. Why can't high school?
Exactly.
That's
So-
where I'm at with it.
I guess my only question with that is look at a scenario like we've said where one team's had the 1 seed in the tournament locked up. They're going to be playing a 18 seed that just snuck in, not really worried about it. Meanwhile, the team they're competing with, maybe they lost a lot of out of conference games. They're a lower seed in the tournament. They need their ace for that first tournament game, so they can't throw their ace for that conference championship game. And that plays a factor.
And that's why those coaches get paid.
Exactly.
That's why they get paid to coach, right?
Yeah, but here's
you
my-
want to win the SOC and throw my one, or do I want to save him and make sure I have a better
What
opportunity
means
to win my
more?
first tournament?
Yeah,
What means more?
but if you're in the conference championship, you probably have a couple studs.
That's true.
Like it's
That's
like,
true.
Like that's where like
The conference
that's-
season, the conference season can be a grind.
Yeah,
because
oh,
you're
yeah.
playing 4 games a week, mixed in a non-conference game, and usually that non-conference game gets moved out because it stormed 3 days a week.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Hey, speaking of champions, hey Hines, what we got for the Hines hits? What we
Kentucky Derby tomorrow, one of the best betting opportunities. Fun. You can do so many things with that. You can bet exactas, trifectas, superfectas. I mean, really anything you want to do. Pick a name you like, have fun. It's
yeah.
so random. 20 horses, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But three, the favorite journalism, 3-1 Morning Mind. He's raced 5 times. He's won 4 of them. He's definitely the rightful favorite, I would say.
Yeah.
I would include him. You got Sovereignty, 9-1. His 2 races ago, he won at Churchill Downs, where the Kentucky Derby is, over this same track. So that will go a long way, I think. And then if you like a long shot, you got Final Gambit, 30-1. He's won his last 2 races.
Yeah.
Proven every time out. It's just, but with that, I mean, take some chances, have fun. You can throw $2 on it and get back a couple hundred. Anything can happen.
Got a better butter.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Give
With
me
the
your
weather, I mean, I don't know, if raining tomorrow, that changes
Close
a lot.
to it, yeah. And give me your Mike Green. Give me your Mike Green.
Dude, I don't as you know, gambling, there's no odds on gambling.
I know that's right.
But heck, I mean, you talk to your wife, your girlfriend, she gives you, collar the horse she likes or something.
Yeah. That's
Something like that. That might even be your best chance for something.
It's kind of like when your wife fills out a bracket and she
Yeah,
just
I
goes
mean-
off the mascots. You're like, what is your reasoning behind this? I don't know. I'm just
And then
thinking-
it's better than
And then
yours.
it's better than yours, and we're diving into analytics, like matchups and everything. And she's like, well, I like this because they're blue. And you're like, what? Like that makes no sense.
No.
Yeah, have fun with it. Throw a few dollars on it. It's going to last 2 minutes. Enjoyable. You're either going to be happy or
Yeah.
Yeah.
bet what you can afford.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Living in Kentucky, I've had a few friends that are a little more invested into it. And last year, I was actually in Buffalo Wild Wings watching it. And if you've never been in the state of Kentucky watching the Kentucky Derby, people.
It's a national holiday.
It's a
over
national
there.
holiday,
It's a
It's a
but
national holiday in the state.
I've
The
never been. I know Whitey
It's-
played football down there in Kentucky. I know he's experienced some Kentucky Derbies. I hear there's nothing like it though.
Oh, no.
It's definitely a big party, a lot of fun.
The info's
But-
a good time.
Yeah, I've
the
heard that.
conversations I've had with people is in the Arkansas Stakes. We saw you mentioned it. Sandman won that,
Yeah.
and the reason that horse won that race was the pace got out of control. Like that you always watch in horse races. I like to look back at 2022 when the longest shot, Rich Strike won it.
Oh, yeah.
He came out of nowhere. He was 8 lengths behind. There was no shot that horse was going to win, and then it did.
Yeah.
And I think that could happen again because Citizens Bull is going to be the pace setter,
Yeah, and
the
Rodriguez
number 1 horse.
just scratched.
And yeah, so
So
Baeza's in,
Yeah.
and Baeza is a really good
It
horse.
has a chance. It ran neck to neck with journalism
Yes.
and the San Anita Derby.
So I think if Citizens Bull is setting an out of control pace and some of the jockeys panic and try and kick too early, watch for Sandman. I think Sandman is favored by that. Also,
The 17.
Yeah.
No one's ever won up.
and the 17 curse. The
Give me the
17
horses
curse.
on the most PEDs.
Right, yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
That's where I put my money.
Secretariat is not in this year.
No, I mean,
Rodriguez sounds fishy.
Hey,
no, that was a Bob Baffert.
I
horse, and
looked,
he's notable.
I looked at Whitey. I said, "You know what they're talking about? Nope. Let's just sit and listen."
But hey,
horse. That's where I
and
put
Give
my
me the
money.
P-
and if you just need a heart pick, Render Judgment, 15 horse, owned by the late great Toby Keith. So
what one's that?
Render Judgment, 15. He is 30-1.
I am
Yeah,
putting
that's trained by Kenny McPeak. I think that's
I'm putting $10 on
good
Toby
trainer.
Keith's horse.
That, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm putting.
Training pick the publisher.
Hey, I'm putting $10 on Toby Keith's horse.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Hey.
It's only natural.
And if you can't wait till tomorrow, the
But I'm as
Kentucky
good
Oaks are
once.
today.
as I ever was.
If you can't wait till tomorrow, the Kentucky Oaks run later today.
Yeah, so
So,
today you got the Kentucky Oaks. It's for fillies.
Yeah.
3-year-old fillies. And then tomorrow,
I don't know
you
nothing
can
about
be a
horses.
filly or a colt, obviously, in the Kentucky Derby.
start a podcast and help.
I think we've learned our lesson not to take anything that JC says as far as placing bets. We're not.
It's a Mike Green.
It's a Mike Green if you pick anything that JC says on the horses. So whatever he says, pick opposite.
Actually, baseball didn't go, but my basketball went 2 for 3.
Yeah,
It was the only game the Lakers won.
the 5 baseball games that you laid.
Yeah, I know.
We'll
Hey,
get
I'll
into
tell you. Hey, no, I'll tell you what though. Me and old Coach Cox, we've won a little bit of money with baseball. So,
A little bit, but not a lot.
hey, I mean,
So-
hey, like,
So did Pete.
Don't
yeah,
keep
so,
it.
right, yeah.
Don't keep betting on the Reds. It won't happen. It
So
won't
did
last.
Pete, right?
I did yesterday, or 2 days ago. I bet on the Reds doubleheader. I took them both. I took them both times. So I was like, "There's no way they're gonna drop both of them." They dropped both of them.
The Reds
St.
have been
Louis.
hot, though, haven't
Yeah, they dropped them, but I took them yesterday and they won 9-1. Paul Skeens
Hey.
got lit up, so
Hey,
it killed me.
35 consecutive outs from the Reds bullpen between 6 pitchers.
Yeah.
Now, in
Diaz-
between all that,
Diaz,
yeah,
He got
Diaz
sent
was
down.
the last one that gave up a run.
He got sent down.
and
Yep.
but in between all that, we did see Chase Petty. But
yeah, yeah. As soon as I placed that bet before they announced that Chase Petty was going to be pitching, and then I looked up. I was like, "We getting rocked in AAA." I was like, "Can I go ahead and cash out now? Like, is this?" And I look up and it's like, "Oh, another homer." It was batting practice for the Cardinals. It was
Yeah,
bad. It was real bad.
I didn't love that he went back out for the 3rd inning, but
Yeah.
he was young. He still had pitches to throw, but it just got out of hand
Yeah.
early. In
Well,
that 3rd inning.
speaking of what you love, let's give us some Gavin's grades.
Yeah. I got a couple of guys I want to cover today. Elijah Vogelsong from Marshall, we've talked about him before. I got to watch him play in person 2 weeks ago against my beloved Eagles down in Moorhead. And, man, the Herd took it to us 2 games back-to-back. And that Wednesday night game is like no baseball game I've ever experienced, and Elijah was at the center of it. He went 4 for 5, scored 6 runs. He walked 3 times. He had 3 singles, 2 doubles, and a triple. If he could have just, as a left-handed hitter in that ballpark, if he could have elevated the ball, he would have had a cycle. I mean, he was just unconscious that night. And then his Herd goes this past midweek and defeats number 16 West Virginia. And they got a big win, went up to Morgantown, got that win. Elijah, he's hitting 6th in the lineup. He has over 420 on base percentage. I mean, he is a key piece. And they're getting hot right here at the end of the season. The Sun Belt is a very good baseball conference, but I could see them making some noise, and we could be seeing a local kid making a run maybe at a regional, and that would be really exciting to see.
Yeah. That'd be great being a local kid. Huntington 45 minutes from us as well, right? So I mean, that's a win-win for everybody if that happens. And yeah, you're right, Gavin, like hitting that streak, getting hot right when they need to, not peaking out too early in the season, but right when they need to as the conference plays happen.
Yeah, college baseball, you can't be the March champions. If you're the March champions, no one cares because you're wrapping up the non-conference schedule, you're hitting your first conference series. You got to be able to win games in late April and early May. So when you're going into a regional and you're seeing, like if you're a small school, if you're seeing the Tennessees, the Vanderbilts, the Arkansas of the world, the Wake Forest, you got to be able to go in there and give them your best game. Because when you're going in, you're going to be facing their ace. Like, I mean, I remember last year, the OVC champions, they had to go play Vanderbilt in the first round, and they were facing their ace, and it was a guy who was projected late first round to go to the Texas Rangers, and it was, you got to show up and ready to go. They weren't ready, but you'll see that. Next two I want to talk about 2 Berg grads. First, we'll get into Macy at Virginia because she's doing something really special this year. But Cooper McKenzie up at Bowling Green, he's splitting time at the catcher position. He's hitting just about 240 with about a 350 on base, 400 slugging percentage. He's having a very good year up there, a couple doubles, couple homers. And the biggest thing with Cooper is he's a 6'5" catcher, and he's really fills it up back there. He's really able to keep everything in front of him, and it's been very important. And Bowling Green's done pretty well in the MAC this year, and that's a very good baseball conference. I'm expecting them to make a run in that tournament. They're 29-14 overall, 16-8 in the conference. I don't know for sure if they're playing anything local here at the end of the year. They're heading to South Bend this weekend.
That's nice.
So that'll be those games will be on TV if you're wanting to watch a local kid play. They're going to be playing at South Bend at Notre Dame.
They already been to OU.
They've been to OU, I'm
Okay,
pretty sure,
yeah.
but I'm not sure where the MAC tournament is in Avon, if you want to make the trip up to that, that's going to be pretty interesting. That is at the end of May. So when we're going to be in the swing of things, maybe one of our teams will be heading up there to play a tournament game around then.
Yeah.
But then the other bird grad I want to talk about, Macy Eaton, she has lit the world on fire in ACC softball. 11 home runs, 11 doubles, 57 RBIs at this point in the year. I mean, as a sophomore, she's hitting right in the middle of one of the best lineups in all of softball. They're going to make a regional. They might even make super regional or softball World Series.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Their pitching's going to have to hold up for them.
Their pitching will have to hold
Their
it.
pitching is probably the only questionable.
Are
the biggest question I would have about Virginia right now.
Yeah.
It's not hitting. It's their pitching is.
Yeah, but 36 and 16, pretty hard to argue with.
Are they still ranked 23rd? They was ranked 23rd last I seen. That's solid.
I believe they're still in the top 25. So
Yeah.
it's going to be crazy. Like she's the anchor of that lineup. I mean,
And just for anybody that's not been able to watch her or anything, just to say, like, all she does is DH.
Mm-hmm.
That's her job. Like, she's not playing in the field. She's playing her defense. She just DH. Kid, here's a stick, hit it out.
Yeah, right.
Do your job.
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she's done it all year. She has been, and you've noticed it as the year has gone on. Like the pitchers have started pitching different to her.
Yes.
Like if she comes up with a runner on base, it's almost like we're right back to where she was her senior year, where, Lord forbid, there was someone on base because she wasn't seeing a pitch that was close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
still the crazy stat I've seen, her junior year of high school didn't strike out a single time.
Correct.
Like
Her junior
still
year, she did not
That's
strike out
crazy.
one
That
time.
is-
like not even
wild.
a pitch maybe a little outside that she got rung up on, which I think was her only strikeout of her senior year.
That's wild.
She only had two her senior
Two, I
year, I
think.
think. She is not only was she in a different league when she was here, she's in a different league in one of the best conferences in the country.
Absolutely.
Correct.
But
Correct.
last one I want to talk about.
Just to go back to McKenzie real
Yeah.
quick, kudos to him because that's a kid that walked on a Bowling Green,
Mm-hmm.
had no scholarship offer, rolled the dice, went up there to walk on and said, I'm going to prove you wrong, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to make your team, and I'm going to find a place to play. And he did. So
Yeah.
kudos to him
Yeah.
He-
for being
Is he
a
on,
walk-on.
is he on scholarship now?
Huh?
Cooper-
He is on partial
Coop-
scholarship.
That's
Cooper's
awesome. That's awesome.
Cooper's an interesting scenario. Me and Cooper graduated together, and I remember having conversations with him where he was still playing basketball. He was still on the golf team. He's like, man, I'm just trying to build up my resume for these coaches to show that like I'm not just a baseball player. I'm an athlete, and he's proved it. He's gone up there and he
Yeah.
has proved
That's
it,
awesome.
and he has made his place on that team. He's going to be there for another. I think he has one, maybe two more years of
2 years.
eligibility.
2 years left.
That's awesome.
And I really think he's going to be an important piece. I think he's the catcher he's splitting time with is a senior. So it just depends. Obviously, transfer portal is a fickle place. So
Yeah.
but he's in line to become the number one catcher up there.
That's awesome.
And
From a walk on.
yeah,
That's
and be a
awesome.
35 games a year backstop. And at college level, that is a huge, huge deal.
Absolutely.
But last one I want to talk about, John Wiley at Xavier, Ironton pitcher. When he was in high school, man, he just was different. The ball came out of his hand
Juiced.
different. Came
Yeah.
at mid 90s fastball, big curveball. He was a really good pitcher. He's kind of wavered this year at Xavier, but you're coming out of the bullpen for a really good Xavier team. ERA sitting just around the 5 mark. He's gotten a good amount of strikeouts as a reliever. The only thing he's got to work on is the walks. Walks are right around the same as strikeouts. You want to strike 2-to-1 strikeout ratio than 1-to-1. But when he's been in, he's given Xavier some good innings. He's came in as a long reliever at points, pitched 3-4 innings, trying to save their bullpen. And I think as a sophomore, or actually as a freshman, because he redshirted his first year,
Yes.
he is going to come into a solid bullpen role for them. I'm excited to see what he's going to do, and I think not only if he doesn't stick it out at Xavier, there is going to be a possible bigger school that like the arm talent is there. If he can bring that command in, I think he can be one of the best relievers for that team.
I think a couple of things. One, fixing his control and command,
Mm-hmm.
right? 2, is he okay to be a reliever, or does he want a different role
Yeah.
at some point as he matures and grows in the next couple of years?
I think you come into college baseball and you see a lot that like every pitcher coming in was a starter. Like when you pitched
They
in
were all
high
with a
school,
big fish in a
Right.
little
yeah,
pond.
Yeah.
when you came in and like unless they played for like a powerhouse but that's a rare case. And I think for him, it's going to be a scenario of we've seen him in long relief. They may see him as a future starter, maybe a future weekend guy.
Yep.
Or if the arm is live enough and he can increase that velo even more, maybe he's a ninth inning guy for them. And that's sometimes more important than being a weekend start. Like, can we trust you to come in and just get 3 outs, shorten the game by an inning? And college coaches talk about that all the time. Can you shorten the game for us?
There's
Like,
been a lot of people make a lot of money off of being able
Yes.
to get 3 outs.
Absolutely.
if you
Like,
can,
there's been a lot of people make a lot of money.
we thought Alexis Diaz was going to make a lot of money on getting 3 outs, and now he can't get one.
I think it's a mental thing for him at this point.
Yeah,
I do.
I we'll get into that a little later. But
Yeah, I got you. But with that being said, we're gonna get into a little bit of the Buckeye Storm Classic. Do we bring our guests on? Want to bring our guests on? You want?
All right, so we have with us now at River at the Round Table, Coach Cox from the New Boston Tigers. Coach, kind of give us some insight of what's going on tonight. We got the Buckeye Storm Classic that's going on in town. Multiple years that this tournament has taken place. I think you guys are using 9 different gyms
Yep.
to be able to play at. It's big for the city of Portsmouth for the weekend. Hotels go up, drives the economy, food, brings people in here. I know there's one whole organization that's coming to town and staying just at Shiny Light. Give us some, over the last couple of years, what you've seen the Buckeye Storm Classic grow into before we get into your team and their performance.
Well, kudos and hats off to Eric Boyers. Eric does a phenomenal job of running this organization and giving kids in our area an opportunity at a very, very good price to play
Yeah.
AAU and get exposure for high school basketball players. The one thing that I think people fail to realize is that Eric, with these 9 gyms, those are 9 different programs that are going to be able to fundraise from our tournament for high school basketball in our area, and we just take pride in trying to help out as many programs that want to get involved. I mean, you set up your gym, you get to keep your gate concession, and it's a pretty good fundraiser for a basketball program.
Absolutely.
So, well, I was going to say we can go ahead. I'll go ahead and tell them the locations. That way that we know what schools are out here helping out the Buckeye Storm. To start out, we got McKell Middle School over in Kentucky,
We
that
got that one when Corey was the head coach.
that's-
Corey Allison. We helped him out in his program. Eric and Corey worked together the last couple of years. So the new coach, we gave the opportunity to.
That's awesome.
And he kept it. So Eric's did a great job. And guys, Eric does all this on his own.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's not a lot of local businesses or people that reach out to help him. So he does, and I personally, he's one of my best friends, but I personally thank him just being sincere for
Yeah,
what he's did just
absolutely.
for my son, let alone hundreds of other new Southern Ohio kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's we all probably had somebody, we know somebody or have had a kid that's played for the Buckeye Storm.
Absolutely.
So we'll have games at McKell Middle School, the complex in West Portsmouth. One court. One court is still good. One court is still good. The other court had some maintenance issues. We got Portsmouth West Elementary, Portsmouth West Middle School. Green is letting us use their new facility and the old facility. And then we have Portsmouth High School right across the street. We'll have the middle school and the high school. And then we actually have the primetime game tonight at Old Glenwood. You guys play at 9:00 tonight.
Yeah, Amy Hughes has the Portsmouth location.
Yeah, absolutely.
She pumps in money to her program. JD King's now in. He'll be pumping money into the green program. And Talent West.
Yeah, McClanahan.
Caleb will be
Yeah.
putting money into theirs. But yeah, we got the 9:00 game tonight. And our team,
So who do you guys play tonight at 9:00 and where at?
we play a team out of Lawrence County. And I think we play them at New Boston, 9:00.
Game Elite.
Game Elite.
Game Elite,
And they're
yep.
out of Lawrence County. So I think we've never played them before. Being a local tournament, the good thing about this local tournament is it gives a lot of local kids an opportunity to put a team together and play. Even if this is their only AAU tournament they play in all summer, we see a lot of local teams
Absolutely.
come together and kids get to play for a weekend together. So I'm not sure about this team. We don't play a lot of local tournaments. So when we come home to play in this tournament, I don't know a lot of the local teams. We don't play in the OYB. We don't play at Rio or the Root or Marshall or Huntington.
Gotcha.
So
So this could be a Lawrence County All-Star team.
I would
this could
assume.
be,
I would
but-
assume so.
But I'm thinking along the lines of some South Point, Fairland, Ironton. I mean, I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
Which,
Well-
if they bring their best Lawrence County kids, they should be really good.
Well, I know Brody Buchanan is playing for Oreo Elite. He's not with them, so that's one less kid you have to worry about. He's playing with Oreo Elite. Our guy Landon Schiltz does a lot of work for us. He's their coach. They got a team in it as well, and it's just a bunch of local kids they put together to have a team and get to play one last time. It's nice. So
They're going to be. They got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
On that team.
yeah, but
Our teams consist of 2,026 kids, and they're currently juniors in high school. We have a good, solid group, and the group that I have, I think we started coaching them when they were in 4th and 5th grade. They're very, when we go to tournaments, we're usually not the most talented team, but we're usually one of the best teams. Chemistry-wise, sharing the ball, playing basketball, we aren't the typical AAU team that the kid that has it shooting it, and that your mom and dad's telling you that you have to go score 20.
So what you're saying is you guys actually play defense and you guys run some plays.
We do have.
It's not come down and shut it up from 3 foot behind the line.
We do have a playbook. We do run. We do expect to score on every out of bounds play underneath. We do have probably 5 different offenses for zone and 5 different for man, and then we'll have a lot of different quick hitters that we run just for a basket.
yeah.
But for the most part, we're free.
Get up and down the floor.
We get up
Yeah.
and
Play
down the
ball.
floor.
Yeah.
And they play well together. There's been hundreds of times in the last 10 years that we've scored baskets with the ball not touching the floor. They just know how to fill the lanes. They play well together.
And when you keep those kids together and they get multiple years together playing, it comes easy for them,
It's
right?
huge.
I mean, it really comes easy. They start to
Chemistry.
fill each other out. Even though they play against each other, during basketball season, different high schools, when they come together, 2 or 3 practices, and it's kind of like, riding a bike, right? It's just they're back in the routine and they're comfortable.
That was the cool thing about seeing like your kids, because obviously we coached together this year. We look up, we have a tournament game out in Latham, and you have Logan Wolfenbarker and some of these other kids are out there watching their teammate because they had an off night. They drove all the way out there to support their teammate. So for me, it feels more like a family that you have rather than just a team. You know what I mean? That's what you got to preach.
We've done a good job of filling in our roster to make sure that we have guards, bigs, and shooters, and everybody knows their role.
Yeah.
We played in Louisville last weekend. We went 1-3, but every game was tied with 3 minutes to go. I feel like we could have went 3-1, but we didn't. And we had 4 different leading scorers. like nobody like Bivens had a good game, Kegley had a good game, McNeil had a good game, Wolfenbarger had like we never had the same leading scorer, and I think that goes to show just how well our kids play together. Like we don't depend on one
Yeah.
person.
So that kind of leads into my next thing was, you know, if you want to go through your roster and kind of let us know who you have on the roster, that'd be great.
Well, we got
What schools are represented?
right. We start with Hunter Bivens, guard from Willersburg. Hunter's style and his way of play, tough, bulldog, not scared of anybody on the court at any given time.
Yeah, we've seen that.
He's a very, very scrappy guard who can score the ball. He can score the ball. He had 25 the other night on 5 threes against a very good Louisville team, and I think they were out in Nashville, and he scored 25 on him, and it was one of the better games I've seen him play.
He's a gritty guard, and he can get hot from the outside.
And his role's different on this high school team. His role is more of a point guard.
Plays hard though. He's always good right behind. I like that.
I think with Hunter, and I've said this since he was like coming up through junior high and high school, he has probably the best floater game I've seen from a guy his like he can
The floater.
he can be almost 20 feet out and shoot a floater from like the elbow, and it's just perfect every time.
We tell him to get to his spot, and that's his spot.
Yeah.
I thought
His spot is the mid-range floater, and I expect him to shoot that 3-4 times a game. Another player we have is Will Kegley. Will Kegley is one of the most improved players of the 2026 class. He's from Portsmouth West. He's up to about 6'3", almost 6'4" now, and his best attribute is he leaves the floor so quick. He's a quick jumper.
Yeah.
So that means he gets to the high point quicker. He's very explosive off the floor. He attacks the rim well, and he's another gritty, hard-nosed player that will stick his nose in on the defensive end and the offensive. You know, I mean, he's not.
So he's got a little old school West Side. in him.
Oh yeah, he's got that. I'd
He
say
gets a warning at once again.
I would say this: you have a team of
Maybe
what
twice.
consider everybody would consider they have this like a dog mentality, like the junk. Like none of them are going to be like. I mean, they're skilled, but they play so hard to make up for the deficiencies that they have in their game. They play so hard. That's one thing I would say. Like
They're very
you,
competitive, and they don't like to lose, and they feed off each other. They play hard for each other. It's like I wouldn't be coaching an AAU team that if it was just a normal AAU team. Like I can't handle the up and down, shoot the ball, no basketball IQ, no basketball being played. I have to have structure. I have to have a team.
And I think that's fitting for the way you coach. So you're going to have a team, and your team's always going to play hard. When you take the floor, you're going to give it 110% play hard.
Well, your team is supposed to be a reflection of you.
Correct.
And if I'm not coaching hard at 110%, I can't expect them to play hard at 110% or hold them accountable
Fair statement.
to
Yeah.
play at 100%. Like,
Fair statement.
how are you going to hold me accountable to play at 100% when you don't coach at 100%?
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
So
You see that a lot too.
Gotta-
I think, around here.
Feed off your energy. That's one thing. It's one thing I've kind of taken from like the different coaches I've been around. Kids are going to feed off your energy. If you go out there and you fight for your kids, they're going to want to fight for you as well.
Well, I grew up watching Sabatini. He was like, when I went to the Portsmouth games to watch Sabatini, I was only 6 or 7, 8 years old, but his actions and his energy drew my attention to where I was watching him as an 8-year-old,
Yeah.
9-year-old. And then I had Mark Spears, who's very, very energetic at the
Animated.
yeah. So I got to watch that. But if you think back to who's our best high school coaches in this area, during their strongest years coaching, they were the most energetic coach around.
Yeah.
I like seeing energy on the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Barrick, energetic.
Yeah, 100%.
Norm in his heydays.
Kids feed off that.
Absolutely.
Kids feed off that type of mentality.
Low
Coach.
energy, and I mean, how are you gonna, like you said, how are you gonna ask a kid to play hard if you're over there giving them energy?
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's
Players are gonna be a representation of the coach.
So if you're just sitting on a chair, you don't get up and coach the entire game, you can't say nothing. on their performance, right?
Not to my kid, you should.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
I sweat like if I don't feel like I played at the end of the game, then I don't know. I mean, I've came to that point of like I got to get in shape to coach. I got to be able to do 100 squats a game. I got to be able to at least walk 5 miles, and I got to be willing to dive on the floor if I have to.
I think the coach that embodies that the most at the next level, Shaka Smart,
I like Shaka.
Yeah.
You watch Shaka Smart, he's like calling out defensive slides when he's over there on
100%.
borderline playing defense on the
Yeah.
I
sideline
played
sometimes.
so much I played more defense on the sideline than I did in my career.
I like seeing that. Though. I really do think teams respond to that. I really
yeah,
do.
absolutely.
There's some people that they just don't like. They don't like that. Like the one that's gotten the most hate for it this year is Danny Hurley.
That's what I was going to say.
Right?
Danny Hurley.
Well, the referees don't like it.
No,
The
they
other
don't.
team don't like it, but the other team don't like it because you're kicking their butt. No one
Yeah.
likes to lose.
And you guys got to look at it from their side is what are they getting paid to do? Win.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Win.
Yeah.
If they're not winning,
It's
and they
tough.
have to find whatever that magic potion is for them to win,
Right,
if it's
yeah,
being
absolutely.
the verbal, getting up and being that type of animated coach to get the performance out of the kids they need, that's what they're going to do. Because if they're not winning, they're not coaching there. They're getting fired. If they're not winning, they're getting fired.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you'd be surprised at the kids that want to come play for a coach like that,
Yeah.
right? So when it does come to the recruiting time and the transfer board and all that, like kids want to play for coaches like that.
Yeah.
So it makes it pretty simple and pretty easy.
And I
know?
tell you, you mentioned it earlier. We grew up in the '90s. It wasn't participation trophies.
No.
No.
We had county tournaments for little leagues. We had
Yes.
Yeah.
champions. We had
Yeah.
one champion. You know,
That's it. You were
And-
either the best or you weren't.
Right. And back then, I can remember in 4th grade, we lost a tournament at Franklin Furnace on the old school across the highway.
Yeah, the dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
The
In
dungeon.
basketball.
Yeah.
My 4th grade coach came in, and here we are as 4th graders, and he slammed the clipboard or whatever we had, chalkboard, I guess, at the time, and said, "Second sucks."
Yeah.
You know, second suck. I mean, that's the first thing he said
Yeah.
when he came alive here. And I've just lived by that motto ever since.
So it's funny you say that. We're talking about being a 7-8-year-old kid. We played last weekend, obviously. And my son's been around you a lot. You may have had an influence on him. We played last weekend, and it's 20. We're losing, I think, 19 to like 14. And they call timeout. We go on a little run. They call timeout, and there's kids over there laughing. He comes over, and he's 7. He goes, "I don't know what's so funny." He's like, "We're losing. Why are you guys laughing?" And they just look at him, and they're like, he's like, "We're playing basketball." He says, "It's not fun unless we're winning." I blame you for that. But like he's been around, you know what I mean? And like for kids that have that mentality at that age, it's very, even in high school.
I would say even in high school.
Yeah, even
it's
in high school.
lost in high school.
Yeah, that's one thing that like I wish that we could bring back is the competitive nature. Because when we was in school,
Well, we can do that. We just got to get mommies and daddies.
yeah,
to
that's
try
true.
and line it.
That's true.
So-
Here's my thing though, like with
Let coaches coach.
yeah, exactly.
Let coaches coach and let
I've been
parents.
blessed.
And
I've
let
been
parents
blessed
be
to do ball. I've
parents.
been blessed to do ball.
Right? Let coaches coach and
They
let
let-
parents be
the
parents and
parents let me
support your
coach.
kid. That's it.
So
And they did it. I've
prime
been blessed.
example.
If you want to coach mom and dad, apply for the job.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. Prime example, when we was in school, if a kid fell down, was you ever helping him up?
No.
Ever?
No.
No. You could say no. You could
If I did, I stepped on your other hand.
it's like, but my
I wasn't the one
yeah,
that
but
fell.
my thing is now you got kids from other teams stopping when you can have a fast break trying to help somebody
Yeah.
up. Like, what are we doing? You got to be competitive.
Listen,
You're trying to win.
I'm all about sportsmanship.
I am
and
too,
all that.
but I'm also about winning.
I'm here to win.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
So you guys play tonight at 9.
Yeah, let's get back to
Yeah,
Logan
yeah,
Wolfbarker
yeah.
Yes.
We got off topic.
from West Jr. We got Bo Henry Jr. from Piketon,
Love
6'6".
Love that kid.
Offensive lineman, and he's got great footwork.
Stretchy.
Excellent footwork. I mean, I can give it to Bo on the post. Like he's literally, we call 4 out 1 and feed the post with his back to the basket. Something that
He shoots
don't
it well
see
too.
around here.
Exactly,
He
yes.
does. He
So,
shoots it really well.
Somebody
He
was
shoots
playing
it well.
post.
right, and he shoots it well as a big, and
Yeah.
we run a lot of plays to get him
100%.
up to the top of the key on a release. Wyatt McNeil, my stepson, is of course one of our shooting guards and guards. But very, very improved from his freshman sophomore season to now. Hard worker in the gym every day. Gets his 250 shots out a day. He's our shooter. Then you have the Logan Wolfbarger kid, 6'5" point guard, 6'4" point guard, about 6'4", about a 6'4" point guard.
Yeah.
He sees the floor very well. Leads our team in assists. His scoring has been down, but his assists have been up. And he's okay with that, and I'm okay. He's a great team player. Logan is a very, very unselfish player. He's the kid that celebrates other people's shots more than they do. You know what I mean?
That speaks volume about his character.
And I
Absolutely.
think that's what I love about Logan. And it's low key. A lot of people don't see it. People don't see that side of the game unless you're like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, man, watch that kid.
Yeah.
Watch this kid make a shot and watch how pumped up that kid is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's Logan Wolfenbarker. Then we have a couple kids out of Charleston that we picked up on the circuit. Zay Hall, very dynamic player, 5'8", 5'9" guard, can dunk it any way you want it.
Oh, yeah,
He's a high flyer, Spud Webb type. I mean,
he gets up.
Oh, I
throw
believe
it up, he
it.
can
Oh,
catch it
yeah.
off the glass. He can do whatever he wants with the ball on a dunk. And then we have Zay Claire from Charleston as well. He's about a 6'3" forward that we picked up. And the way we picked him up, it's a funny story. Zay Hall's dad, we played his old team in AAU. And his dad stood up in the stands and said, I want my son to play for that guy. And we were playing him.
Oh boy.
And this
Yeah,
is during the
yeah.
game.
I'm sure the other coach loved
I
that.
said, we can make that happen.
There's no
On the
doubt,
floor?
there's no doubt you had a rebuttal for it.
On the floor?
Yeah, oh, yeah. I guarantee it. Would not surprise me.
Matter of fact, I would have been surprised if you didn't take a timeout and say, come over here.
30 seconds.
That's right. Actually, give me a full for this.
You wear large or XL?
Yeah.
So Zay
Medium.
became a member of our team. He's been with us for the last 2-3 years. So he's been fluent with us. We did have Jalen Bender, but he's moved on to kicking. And man, he's got
Oh,
some
yeah.
really good
Oh,
offers
yeah.
and
18th
camps
ranked.
that he's been going.
Yeah, it's
So we lost Jalen, but we got Billy William Burton from East Carter, Kentucky, and his kid's a godsend,
hilarious.
man. He's a walking miracle. He had a heart attack and passed away when he was younger. They brought him back. He's got a pacemaker, and he was life flighted, COVID. They brought him back. He's a miracle, and he's just a wonderful kid. Like, he is a super kid, and his motor for
Happy to-
6'3" is 150. His motor's 150. Like, I can put him in to guard the biggest kid on the floor, and it's gonna turn into a wrestling match underneath. Like, he's gonna body that kid.
I actually got to go watch East Carter play. I went to the East and West game this year. Just a couple of my buddies were like, "Hey, let's go up the road and watch it." And you're right, he is a workhorse. Like, he will go out there. Just from watching, he wants to guard the other team's best player.
Yes, he does.
Dude,
Like,
And he shot, I think he shot 57% from the floor and was ranked in the top 5 in field goal percentage out of that region over there.
16th
He's not
region.
a prolific scorer, but he has that old Larry Bird white band game.
he's got that old school. It's like the old man at the Y game. It's really what it is. Like,
16th region is a lot of, like,
Shooters.
I mean, it's a lot of shooters. They can shoot the ball well down there, and that region runs through Ashland and Boyd. But like, it's really nice when you see some of those schools, like you see like Morgan County, East Carter, West Carter.
Yeah.
They come in and they make some noise in that tournament. And he's one of the guys that, like, when they came to Moorhead and we were watching those games, he made some noise.
Yeah, he did. And his younger brother is named Thomas Burton. He's a freshman. He'll probably be the starting quarterback as a sophomore.
Yeah.
And his on-ball defense is amazing. So William's little brother Thomas will come and put a jersey on and sit the bench for me, and only go in if I need him, and he's cool with that. But he plays on, you know what I mean? But he's playing up 2 age groups.
Yeah.
But he still can hold his own.
I didn't realize that
Some-
when I first seen your team, I didn't realize he was a freshman.
Man.
I was like, oh, okay.
Something incredible about, especially those kids from Kentucky, like, they are not afraid to play up a couple age groups because they've been doing it their whole life.
Yeah, they've been playing since 7th and 8th
Yeah,
grade.
you
They
hear it
play
all.
varsity, right?
You're watching it, and you're like, man, he's a little small, but he's pretty good. How, is he a freshman? No, he's in 7th grade. What do you mean he's in 7th grade?
Yeah. OJ Mayo.
Yeah, no
watched
kid.
Bill Walker
No
and
kid.
AJ
Yeah.
When they were in, what was that?
Like
sixth, seventh grade?
Xander Carter from Green Up.
Yeah.
Around be able to do that.
Now Ashland.
And they started out at the
Yeah.
School.
So
They got 2 years of high school.
Yeah.
They go Ohio.
Yeah. Then I come back home.
so you play at 9 o'clock tonight,
Yep.
and then 11 a.m. tomorrow. Both games are at New Boston. So if you listen, we have 124 teams in this, and we have all over the county. It's $10 for all day admission. That's a steal.
Yeah.
To be able to go to 9 different locations and watch basketball all day
Absolutely.
long. And I just want to let you guys know that we will be live streaming your game tonight. I don't know if I told you or not. Well, so for anybody that wants to watch these kids that he's talking about, we will be live on the River City Sports Media page for you to be able to come watch and cheer. If you can't make it out, we'd rather you come to the event. But if you can't,
get out and support.
yeah,
the
get out and
local
support
athletes, local teams,
But everybody says
local
that
businesses.
everybody says that nobody wants to come to Portsmouth. Well, Eric's got 124 teams here,
Yeah.
so why don't the community go out and support? Even if you go watch 1 or 2 games.
Well,
It's-
what I would like to point out is a Buckeye Storm team to join is $250. I
Yeah.
know some players that aren't as good as our team that's paying over $1,200 for
See it.
them to be on a different team.
Yeah, it's
And we
wild.
got multiple kids and people and parents around here that's making their own. Eric will get you in 5 tournaments, no questions asked, $250 a kid.
Yeah.
He's not making a lot. I
And
mean,
here-
Eric
yeah.
does it for our pro.
Yeah,
for our
here's the
He does it for the kids.
here's the thing though. The
That's what he does it for the kids in the organization.
$250, you get 2 sets. I know because I just paid it
2
for
jerseys.
2 sets of jerseys, a backpack, and admission into 5 tournaments.
Yeah.
That's a steal.
It is because
Each
been
tournament.
around the travel ball, whether
Yeah,
it was
so that's-
softball, baseball, the basketball.
That's a steal.
That's
well,
cheap.
you got to figure. We go play in a tournament. We didn't play in one tournament. It was less than $300.
Yeah, that's
So one person pays for a tournament.
Yep.
I got 7 kids. We play in 5 tournaments. Eric's not making money off our
Right,
team. By the time
exactly.
he takes the uniform and the backpacks,
Yeah,
in
it's-
our tournaments, he don't make money on our team.
It's kudos to Eric and everybody
Yeah,
does.
absolutely.
And I know it's not a drop in the bucket for the time and effort that he puts into starting from the tryouts to the uniforms, the backpacks. Let them getting each age group into tournaments, let alone
Yeah.
hosting the Buckeye Storm tournament here in the Portsmouth area
And-
and Soda County.
What he does is simply amazing.
It is.
It-
and
it
then
really is.
On top of that, like he sent out a thing was like, hey, if anybody wants shooting shirts, we'll get that as well. That's another hassle that he didn't have to do,
Yeah.
but he wants the kids to have the nicest things.
I've been coaching under him since my Wyatt was in 5th grade, and I've never went to one tournament or one place where I've never had an issue.
Yeah, that's
I've never traveled to a tournament and been like, oh, you're not paid, or your guidance ended,
Yeah,
or
he's-
had the wrong time.
Yeah,
went to
everything's
the wrong.
always squared away.
it's awesome because to not have to worry about it. Like I think it was last Wednesday we were supposed to have played in Gallipolis, and he was like, hey, they don't have enough. I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? By Thursday afternoon, we was entered in a tournament in Columbus.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's quick with it. So listen. If your kids are on the fence about playing travel basketball, they need to play Buckeye Storm. At least give it a try, and because it's a great.
Not only that, but if you're a dad out there and you're gonna start your kid into travel ball, do it with us.
Yeah, that's
Don't go put it into Huntington and Ashland.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, do it with
Keep it
us
local,
for $250.
see what it's like.
We'll help your school out. I mean,
Yeah,
if your
that's-
kid goes to West or Green or New Boston this weekend or Portsmouth, I mean, we'll
Yeah.
be throwing you guys $5,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's age groups all the way from 2nd grade, actually.
The referees
First,
are making $15K
all the way
this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. It's so you have if you're from 1st grade all the way up until you're a senior, like you have,
Yeah.
like it's wild.
Yeah.
Well, and my team, guys.
And it's not like it's a mom and pop organization. They've been around.
Oh yeah, they've been around for a long time.
And what I've seen over the years with the Buckeye Storm is you'll see a lot of guys at the younger age group start with the Storm. They'll hit an age group, and all of a sudden they want to leave and they want to go somewhere else to play.
Yeah.
And they go that route, and then it's like, wait a minute, I don't like this travel. I don't like this. I don't like that. And they usually end up finding their way and coming back and finishing.
Yeah.
Well, that and you go out there and it's crazy because you'll go out to play in Huntington or Charleston, and they'll tell you that you're good enough to spend $1,700 to play on their Under Armour team.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're spending $1,700.
Yeah. Well,
Not even counting your hotels and
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
with that being said, you guys get out and watch basketball this weekend. If you have any questions, feel free to message Eric, one of us, Adam, or you can message the River City Sports Media page, and we'll be happy to give you information. We appreciate you coming on, Coach Cox.
Yep.
I do it all the time.
We had some.
Good luck tonight.
Big shout out to our sponsors, the Soda River, the Portsmouth Brewing Company, Portsmouth UPS. If it wasn't for those guys backing what we do at River City Sports Media, this wouldn't be possible. Don't forget, get on our social media, RCSM740, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Get on there, like it, and share it. Because the more you like it, the more you share it, the more it helps us out, the more coverage we're going to be able to do in this area for our local athletes and local people as well. So I don't think I forgot any sponsors. Is that
that's
our
it.
sponsors,
That's
right?
it. Yeah, that's it.
So
Thank you guys for having me. Man.
yes,
Hey, I appreciate
absolutely,
you coming on. Yes, sir.
absolutely. Gavin, any last words from you?
I just want to give a little. I forgot to mention this during our looking up at the next level where they're playing. So softball is done. They're heading into conference tournaments. Next weekend is the ACC tournament. That is going to be on national TV. So if you're wanting to watch that, that'll be a great watch. They're heading up to Massachusetts to play that. Poor Stanford and Cal having to go all the way there. But Marshall's away the next 2 weekends, but then they return home for the end of the season. If you have not been to a Marshall baseball game, they have a
That stadium is
beautiful
unbelievable.
field.
It is. It looks
Beautiful field.
It's a shame they run a good coach off.
Tournament at Boston College or something?
I think so, Boston College. But it is a beautiful field down there in Huntington. It's a 40-minute drive. I highly encourage going. Even if you're not really into baseball, go to a game. They put on a really good show down there. And then the last one, I actually looked into it a little more. So the first 2 games of that Notre Dame series next weekend are in South Bend. The Sunday game is at Stellar Field in Bowling Green. So
Gotcha.
Bowling Green is hosting Notre Dame at their home field. So that's a big deal. So keep an eye out for those games. Make sure you keep watching those local kids at the next level because they're making some noise.
Yeah. Pick him and hit him, Hines. Last words.
No, get out and
You got to release your pick.
He
did.
did.
He gave the Derbies.
The horses.
I need to. Who you bet on?
I'm gonna bet final game at 30 to 1.
There we
Final
go.
game. Final
You
game.
heard it right
Hey,
there. That's
Not
a
Toby's
lock.
horse.
Hey,
That's a lock.
that's
If
a
it's
Mike.
not-
It's a Mike Green.
If
That's
it's
a Mike
not,
Green.
You know where to find Hines when we do the river at the round table.
Under judge.
So, Sugar Daddy's J.C. Evans, last words.
Get out and watch basketball this weekend. Support these kids.
Guys, get out, support the Buckeye Storm, support the community, the businesses. That's going to be these teams coming in. It's huge for Soda County for one weekend. And again, thanks to our sponsors, the Portsmouth Brewing Company, the Soda River, the Portsmouth UPS who delivers this to you guys. Thank them. And again,